Good evening. Here's the world news from BGI TV, Baba Gbagede Imo TV. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the world news. Buhari government promised to lift 100 million Nigerians, but threw 133 million into poverty. Lalong aides resigns as government killed 10. Social media gives me high blood pressure. Tinubu. Panic in Oyo community over armed robbers letter. Monarch conspires with terrorists to kill farmer. Still on the headlines, troops arrest civilian JTF members for collaborating with Boko Haram. 2 feared dead as Ebube clash with gunmen in Ebonyi. And to foreign story, US repatriates another 20.6 billion US dollar Abacha loot. And to sports, Operanoze wins Chinese Women's League title. And to the news in detail. Senior Senator Shehu Sani has mocked the present administration for failing to lift 1 million Nigerians out of poverty, instead threw 133 million into abject poverty. President Muhammadu Buhari had unveiled government plans to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty by 2030. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Labour and Employment, Ms. Kachulum Daju, had told newsmen in September that the federal government planned lifting was attainable if stakeholders played their expected roles effectively. But the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, announced Thursday that the number of Nigerians living in poverty stands at over 133 million, representing 63% of the nation's population. In his reaction to the development, Sani, via his Twitter handle, said the government had officially threw 133 million Nigerians into poverty cycle. He said the promise to lift 100 million people out of poverty, now they have officially thrown 133 million people into deeper poverty in their administration. Moving to the next story from Plateau State. The Special Assistant to Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State, Makut Mashat, has resigned his appointment over what he described as the lackadaisical attitude of the governor to security issues in the state. Mashat, who was the Information Communication Technology Assistant (ICT) to the governor, said the present government has failed the citizens. The major task of government is to protect the life and property of its citizens. Our government has failed us. Our traditional rulers have failed us. Our religious leaders have equally failed us. We cannot afford to fail the next generation coming. Each life lost in this attack must be accounted for. All perpetrators must be brought to their knees. Anything less will not be acceptable by the people of Bokos. It is on this premise that I want to withdraw my services to the Executive Governor of Plateau State as a Special Assistant on ICT. I was one of the youths that led a protest to Little Rayfield on July 20, 2016 and ended up being arrested, and 2 of my brothers. On January 28, 2020, gunmen subjected and suspected to be herdsmen attacked Quarters Village, killing 15 persons. I wrote an epistle lamenting with my pen why Governor Lalong would not visit the family of the victims or even attend the mass burial. Moving to the next story. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress (APC), says he has stopped reading social media. Tinubu, who frequently updates verified social media statement, claims. Tinubu, who frequently does that, I don't read social media anymore. They abuse hell out of me. If I read it, I get high blood pressure and angry. I don't read it, so I want to hear anything. My children or my workers will say this, one or this, and when I'm tired, I say please forget it. Tinubu, who has been under the spotlight in the ongoing campaign for the 2023 general elections, says social media gives him high blood pressure. While rounding off his speech at his campaign flag-off in Jos on Tuesday, he suffered a slip of tongue as he mistakenly referred to the People's Democratic Party (PDP) when he had his party in mind. I had over back to the chairman of the party before he disciplined me for leaving the president waiting and keeping him standing. We are calling, inviting the national chairman to invite the president, at least to close this party of the ceremony. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless Nigeria. God bless PDAPC, he said. Moving to Oyo State. People of Ifelagba community area are currently under fear following a terror letter posted in the area. Ifelagba community is in Idioson area of Ido, local government of Oyo State. A resident told Radio Nigeria that the terror letter purportedly written by a group of armed men was seen in the early hours of Friday, sending residents to panicking. The letter, written in Yoruba language, alerted the public that a group of armed robbers would invade the community fully armed by the end of November. The group also stated through the letter that they were ready to overpower the local securities who had always prevented them from perpetrating evil works in the area. The resident, however, called on security agencies in the state and to the government to beef up security all around the communities before the date. From that story, we go to the next story. A traditional leader, Meungwa of Gobirawa village in Faskari local government area of Katsina State, named Suraju Madakwaki, conspired with some terrorists to kill a farmer, Yaya Dambeli, in the area, police said yesterday. Addressing journalists in Katsina, the police spokesman, Gambo Isa, said the command received a distress call that Dambeli was attacked by a suspected terrorist with an AK-47 rifle while working on his farm on the outskirts of the village. But the farmer summoned courage, disarmed him, and killed the terrorist. He then took the recovered AK-47 rifle to the house of his ward heir, Meungwa, one Madam Suraju Madawaki of Gobirawa village in Faskari. Subsequently, the ward heir, instead of reporting the matter to the police, decided to call one Amisu, a notorious terrorist and leader of terrorist group, reported the incident to him and handed over the recovered rifle to him. Consequently, Amisu mobilized his gang, surrounded the village, brought out the farmer and killed him instantly. The terrorists had placed a 10 million naira fine on the community for killing one of their members, or they would return and kill everybody in the village. Moving on to the next story. The troops of 155 Task Force Battalion, Operations Adenkai in Banki, have arrested 8 members of the youth vigilante group known as Civilian JTF, accused of aiding activities of Boko Haram. They were said to be supplying logistics and welfare items to the terrorist group. Before their arrest, the suspects actively operated as terrorist intelligence and were involved in supplying different items, including drugs, fuel, mosquito nets, noodles, among other items, to terrorists. Zagazola reported that the luck ran out of the suspects while transacting a deal with the terrorists at a river in Yukami village in the outskirts of Banki in Bama, LGA. The sources said that nefarious activities of the alleged terrorist collaborators under the leadership of one Mohammed Dungus have endangered troops on clearance operations around the fringes of Baki. The unfortunate sabotage of troops, movement and position by Dungus and his cohort made it possible for terrorists to attack the rear element of troops on patrol during operations at Gauri village on October 30th. Though the attack was eventually repelled, there were serious casualties on both sides. Going to Ebonyi State. It was gathered that incident took place at the popular Ebebe Junction within the Abakaliki metropolis around 9 p.m. yesterday. A credible source within the vicinity of incident disclosed that about 4 Ebubeagu operatives were shot by gunmen, but 2 died while being taken to the Alex Ekweme Federal Teaching Hospital, Abakaliki, for treatment. The source wouldn't want to be mentioned said the gunmen attacked them at the checkpoint around 9 p.m. About 4 of the Ebubeagu men were shot, but were learned this morning that 2 of them died while being taken to the hospital. Police Public Relations Officer for Ebonyi Command, Chris Anyanwu, was not available for comment at the time of filing this report. From national news to the foreign story. The Department of Justice announced that it has transferred over $20.6 million to the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in accordance with an August 23rd agreement between the government to repatriate assets the United States forfeited that were traceable to the kleptocracy of former Nigerian Director General Sani Abacha and his conspirators. This repatriation brings the total amount forfeited and returned by the United States in this case to approximately $332.4 million US dollars. In 2014, a judgment was entered in the District of Columbia ordering the forfeiture of approximately 500 million US dollar located in accounts around the world as the result of a civil forfeiture complaint for more than 625 million US dollar traceable to money laundering involving the proceeds of General Abacha's corruption. Moving on to the next story, which is the sports. Super Falcons striker Desire Opara-Nozie has won the 2022 Chinese Women's Super League title with her club Wuhan. Opara-Nozie and her Wuhan ladies have won the last 3 Chinese Women's Super League titles. The Wuhan team finished top in the 10-team Chinese Women's Top Flight. And reacting to the league title win, Opara-Nozie wrote on her Twitter handle, "Behold, your Chinese Women's Super League champion." The 2022 Chinese Women's League is the 8th season in its current format and the 26th total season of the Women's Association Football League in China as a whole. That ends the world news from BGI TV. Before we go, some major headlines. Buhari government promised to lift 100 million Nigerians but threw 133 million into abject poverty. We also brought to you Lalong's aide resigned as gunmen killed 10. Social media gives me high blood pressure, claims Tinubu. And on sports, Opara-Nozie wins Chinese Women's League title. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is Babagbagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access our broadcast. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placements only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rebila Lawa. Good evening.
Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just into BGI TV. BGI TV, you're one in a million.